Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your weekly dose of college football, where I react to the latest happenings within college football via Instagram posts, of course. And guys, we had the AP Top 25 poll come out, the preseason one. Here it is right here. No major surprises among the top 10. I will say there was a little bit of a debate between Ohio State and Georgia. Ohio State beats out Georgia for that number 4 spot. Not that it really matters because Clemson and Georgia face off against each other week 1. How about Oregon being ranked 11th? That's pretty high for them. Other rankings, I've said this before, the U, Miami, I don't understand it. I would have them maybe 20th. I have no clue why they're ranked 14th. I think it's just to boost up that Alabama-Miami week 1 game personally. Other rankings, Utah, love seeing Utah in the top 25. How about Washington at number 20? Penn State, I think a little bit underrated. I think they're going to have a great year. And guys, this is just something cool I always look at. This is a combination of all the AP poll voters, top 25 polls. And this is on Reddit. You can see it on Reddit, the college football page for Reddit. I just think it's cool to look at how they all voted. You can kind of see who had who where. You know, Ohio State got a first place vote. Clemson got a few. I think Georgia got one. So several teams getting first place votes, but just a lot of different polls, as you can see there. Reviewing the AP Top 25, I really don't understand this, guys. Look at this. It says Alabama at number 1 is too high, but Oklahoma's at 2 is just right. Clemson is just right. Ohio State is too high. Georgia is too low. So are they insinuating Georgia should be number 1? If you have Alabama too high, but then you have Georgia and Clemson just right, wouldn't one of those be too low so they would pass Bama at number 1? I don't understand that, guys. Other rankings, Oregon. Yeah, I was surprised to see Oregon ranked 11th. Some people saying Wisconsin was overranked. Same thing with Florida breaking in a new quarterback. I don't agree at all with Penn State being too high. Are you kidding me? I really like Iowa. I like Iowa a lot. But guys, those are just food for thought rankings. Here's some other things. Notre Dame overrated at number 9. I completely agree with this, ladies and gentlemen. I've said it from the beginning. Notre Dame has a sneaky tough schedule. I do think they'll beat Indiana, but I have Notre Dame at a minimum 3 losses this year. Probably 4. They recently named Jack Cohn their starting quarterback. I'm sorry, that's just not going to get it done. If I'm a Notre Dame fan and I'm sitting here in my starting quarterback in this day and age where you can go pluck a 5-star transfer or a highly ranked transfer who's unhappy with the situation and have him start just like that, you're starting Jack Cohn, a transfer from Wisconsin who got beat out by Graham Mertz. Yeah, it's not going to do it for me with Notre Dame. I see a down season for Notre Dame. Georgia at number 5, underrated. It's really not going to matter. I mean, listen, you could put them over Ohio State. I personally think they're fine being ranked 5th. So I don't really understand that one. Oregon at number 11, overrated. You know, as an Ohio State fan, I was very happy to see Oregon come in at number 11 because that week 2 game, if Ohio State wins it, you know, they're probably not going to penalize Oregon that bad for losing on the road against a top 5 team. You're still going to see Oregon staying within the top 15 in the AP poll. That gives Ohio State a very marquee win. We'll have to see how Oregon's season finishes. Oregon is a team, a lot of talents on defense, a lot of talent. They are loaded. The offense, a major question mark. We're going to have to see with the quarterback situation. Indiana, underrated. Completely disagree. Indiana has a very tough schedule. They're one of those programs that normally doesn't have any expectations, but now they've got expectations, a lot like Iowa State. Yeah, Indiana's probably not going to finish the season ranked. They have a tough schedule. Change.org, get Tennessee out of the SEC. 27 have signed. I'm guessing those are Tennessee fans. Guys, this is a major problem, this switch with Oklahoma and Texas to the SEC. I've said this before. I think it's going to bury a team like Tennessee who's still rebuilding. But another team I think it's going to bury that people aren't talking about. How about Auburn? You look at Auburn, the last 2 recruiting classes, they haven't been good. This year's recruiting class with a first-year head coach is not good. I think Auburn is in for some serious dark ages. You look at the trend. They're trending down. They're probably going to lose 5 or 6 games this season. And then you add Texas and Oklahoma into the SEC. Teams like Tennessee, teams like Auburn, who are currently going through mini rebuilds, you know, Tennessee a prolonged rebuild, it's going to trample these teams. And, you know, I think it's going to be very tough for teams like Auburn, like Tennessee, to really find footing in this new SEC. You know, it was doable before the switch. Take a look at Georgia's schedule this year in the SEC. It's a very easy schedule. That's not to say the SEC isn't the best conference in college football. It is, but you add these two mega powers, Texas and Oklahoma, now everyone's schedule becomes tough every single year. College football fan base categories. They have Michigan as hopeless. I wouldn't put Michigan as hopeless. They need, they get someone like Matt Campbell in there. We'll see. They definitely have a great tradition with that program with the Big House. Indiana hopeful. I guess they're hopeful this year. I don't see them doing good. Toxic LSU. You could put a lot of teams. Cocky Alabama. They got reason to be. Basketball school Kansas. Yeah. Doesn't care Duke. I don't know. They had Daniel Jones. Loyal Nebraska. Oh yeah, I love Nebraska fans, man. They're great. Delusional Texas. There's a lot of different delusional fan bases in college football, but yeah, Texas would be right up there. With week one, with the preseason rankings now out, we have some of the best matchups for week one. Clemson, Georgia, Texas, Louisiana. I think that's a massive game for Texas, and that's a great spot for Texas to be in. You're facing a Louisiana team where you have vastly more talent, right? You could really blow this team out. Nothing against Louisiana. They're a good team. They had a nice year last year. But if you're Texas, Bijan Robinson needs 25 touches a game. He is a beast. Blow this team out there ranked. That'll give you some significant momentum going into the season. Great spot for Texas. You're facing a ranked team, but you have so much more talent than they do. You can really overwhelm them. How about Iowa and Indiana? I'm taking Iowa in that game. Iowa is at home, by the way. Wisconsin, Penn State. Give me Penn State in a really close one. And then Miami, Alabama. I don't know why that's a top game. Alabama is literally 18-point favorites according to Vegas. Not sure on that one. This is just a little food for thought. Most draft picks in the last 5 years. You've got your normal suspects, Ohio State, Alabama, LSU. People say, wow, Michigan, that's pretty high. And it is impressive, but you have to remember, not all draft picks are created equally. Obviously, a first-round draft pick is going to be a lot more talented than a 6th or a 7th-round draft pick. While it is impressive, Michigan is 4th on, the overall total number of draft picks. Many of those draft picks from Michigan are late-round picks. Again, not all draft picks are created equally. Alabama, Ohio State, LSU, even Florida, Georgia, they have a lot more higher tier talent, top 5 or top first round, second round picks. Michigan, while it's impressive they're on this list at number 4, I'm sure a lot of people are surprised by it. They've had a lot of 5th, 6th, 7th round type picks, guys that'll kind of get drafted late and then probably not even make the roster. I really agree with this list personally. Most overrated teams of 2021. Florida, I don't know. That's really the one team, I know they're breaking in a new quarterback, but it's really not like they have a lot of expectations. I haven't heard a lot of hype about Florida, but Notre Dame, definitely. I could see Notre Dame, again, losing 3 or 4 games at least. Indiana, yep. Miami, no clue how they're ranked inside the top 15. And then Texas A&M. Texas A&M, the thing with Texas A&M, they have an easier schedule this year in the SEC. They missed quite a few good teams. I was looking at their schedule, so I was like, man, I think they're overrated, but they kind of do have an easy schedule in the SEC. I know they face Alabama, but other than that, they do miss a lot of the good teams in the SEC. So top 5 breakout stars this season, you've got C.J. Strout, Bryce Young, Bijan Robinson. I think the only reason Bijan Robinson isn't number 1 is because he's not a quarterback. How about Trevion Henderson, beast? If you haven't heard of him, guys, true freshman running back from Ohio State, former 5-star. Oh, he's a beast. He is absurd. I love C.J. Strout as well. I don't want to go so far as to say C.J. Strout's going to be better than Justin Fields was, but he's definitely more mobile, and he's very accurate. That's the thing with C.J. Strout. I love C.J. Strout. I said from the beginning C.J. Strout was going to win the QB battle, and it looks like he's got it wrapped up. At this point, college football players to invest into or to not invest into, Jack Sawyer is a mountain, ladies and gentlemen. You see Jack Sawyer's photos of Jack Sawyer, it's crazy. The true freshman 5-star pass rusher from Ohio State. Carson Strong, maybe the next Josh Allen. Maybe the next Josh Allen when it comes to the draft. Ibrahim, I don't know about investing into him. He's already kind of a top running back. Eli Ricks is a beast, defensive back from Florida. Do not invest into Malik Willis. I don't know. Yeah, Zion Nelson is a really interesting kid. I could see Zion Nelson. You've seen a guy like Zion Nelson being mocked in the 1st round. I could see him end up going 3rd or 4th round of the draft. He's really only being mocked in the 1st round right now due to measurables. If he struggles, he could definitely fall in the draft. The Jihad Dotson thing, I don't understand that at all. Jihad Dotson's a beast. Oh, he's a beast. I love Jihad Dotson personally. Preseason AP Top 25 by conference. So you're going to look at this, and I'm sure a lot of people are surprised the Pac-12 is tied with the SEC and the Big Ten for most teams. I will say there are no top 10 teams in the Pac-12. So really, it's not equal. You've got Alabama as a top 10 team. You've got Georgia as a top 10 team. You've got A&M as a top 10 team. Ohio State as a top 10 team. Well, I guess there's only one in the Big Ten, but you look at the Pac-12, while they do have 5 teams, and it's impressive, Oregon being the best, they're ranked 11th, and then USC. I really do like Washington and Utah personally. Arizona State is a really fringe team to me, and then there's the ACC. The ACC is a joke. I'm sick of it with the ACC. The Big 12, I think the Big 12 is a sneaky good conference this year. Ladies and gentlemen, Quinn Ewers, the generational quarterback, has officially arrived at Ohio State. If you don't know, Quinn Ewers was the number 1 overall player in the 2022 class. He reclassified to the 2021 class, and he is still now the number 1 overall player in the 2021 class. 5-star quarterback out of Texas. He wanted to come to Ohio State a year early to get the name, image, likeness deal. He already signed, I think, a 6-figure deal so he can start making money. But guys, this is a major issue for Ohio State's quarterback room. The Buckeyes now have 4 quarterbacks with freshman eligibility. It's really clogged up. We'll see how it plays out. If there's anyone that can manage it, it's Ryan Day. But yeah, this is going to be really interesting. I would love to see Quinn Ewers maybe play the second half in the Akron game. You know, get him some reps, whatever. We'll have to see how it's split between him and Kyle McCord. It does look like C.J. Strout. If you guys don't know, maybe you don't follow Ohio State, C.J. Strout is locked in as the starter. Right now, true freshman, former 5-star Kyle McCord is the backup. And then you've got another true freshman 5-star quarterback, Quinn Ewers, you know, still very young, reclassified to 2021 as the 3rd string, I would say. And then we have a low 4-star Jack Miller we expect to transfer very soon. He'll be hitting the portal on that. This is just a quick rant I wanted to go on. We're seeing more and more of these people try and reinvent the wheel, and they're like, oh, ban preseason polls. Why would we ban preseason polls? We need something to rank these teams on. They're like, oh, we don't know if Alabama or Ohio State are going to be that good. They shouldn't be ranked. We shouldn't start ranking teams until week 4. No, we know Alabama's going to be really good this year. We know Clemson's going to be really good this year. We need something to gauge these teams so we have the week 1 matchups where there's teams that are ranked. You want Alabama to go into week 1 unranked? What is wrong with these people? Ban preseason. They're trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm sick of it. It's a tradition. We come out with preseason polls. They don't mean a lot, but it just gives you a gauge on where teams are starting at. It's just so annoying. Every year it's something with these people are like, we want to ban this. Oh, they shouldn't have preseason polls. So yeah, let's have Alabama unranked. Let's have Georgia Clemson be an unranked matchup because technically they're 0-0. We don't know if these teams are all that good. Give me a break. We're not banning the preseason polls. That's ridiculous. I'm sick of it. College football wins in the 21st century. You guys can take a look at this list. Really not all that surprising. Ohio State first. Oklahoma's up there. How about Boise State, Alabama, LSU? Michigan is pretty low. Like, it's crazy how low Michigan is, man. Louisville has the same as Michigan. Cincinnati does as well. West Virginia has more. I'm not trying to pick on Michigan. It's just crazy to look at that list and see them that low. Kind of surprised Texas is as high as they are. They've had some staying power. It is crazy when you compare the two programs like Texas and Florida, how much Texas gets hated on. I know Florida has a tougher schedule every year in the SEC, but, you know, it's only, it's a 0-win difference in the 21st century. Oh, that's 21st century, not the last decade. I'm sorry. So this is going back to the year 2000. So that makes more sense. Obviously, Texas was very successful from 2000 to about 2010, and then they started to really tail off after that. Which stadium is better? This is a stadium battle between Army and Navy. To me, it's always going to be the one built for college football, so I would go with Navy there. Army Stadium is, you know, they borrow the stadium. They share the stadium with the Philadelphia Eagles. So, yeah, I'm going to have to go with Navy. Always the stadium that's built for college football. These are just playoff predictions from people. We've got some very, very good predictions here. Iowa, Oregon, Texas, North Carolina, Bama, Clemson, USC, Michigan, UNC, Iowa State, Cincy, and Georgia. How about this one? Temple, Rutgers, Pitt, and Oregon. These people. This one seems kind of real, I guess. Alabama, Clemson, Iowa State, Oregon, maybe. Bama, Clemson, Oregon, Penn State. Bama, Oklahoma, A&M, Cincy, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Georgia, Notre Dame, in that order. I guess the last one would probably be the most realistic, although Notre Dame ain't making the playoff, man. They're just not making the playoff. College football hot takes. Notice how they have, everyone just hates Texas, man. They have their logo upside down. Texas starts out the year 0-2 with losses to Louisiana and Arkansas. No way. They're definitely not going to lose to Arkansas. And I think, again, Texas is in such a good spot to start off the year under a new head coach. Give the ball 30 times to Bijan Robinson. You're going to beat Louisiana. You're way more talented than they are. You're way more talented. You're at home. Beat them. Make a statement. Beat them by 28 points. They have such a chance to do that. Notre Dame finishes the year unranked for the first time since 2016. I like that hot take. I like it. Auburn finishes the year ranked inside the top 15. No, that's not going to happen. And then how about, this is the one I really like. Ohio State quarterback CJ Strout wins the Heisman. You know, Ohio State is due for a Heisman winner. I'm sure there's some of that Oklahoma fatigue with Oklahoma winning all those Heismans, the two quarterbacks back-to-back. We've seen Alabama have a few Heismans, but Ohio State really hasn't had any Heisman since Troy Smith. The one problem I will say, and this is also a problem for Clemson's quarterback, Ohio State's schedule is pretty dang easy. It's not Clemson easy, but the schedule, it's like, where's your Heisman moment for CJ Stroud? It's like you have a tough game against Oregon, maybe Penn State, maybe Indiana, although I doubt it. It's just there's not a lot of girth to the schedule to give you those Heisman moments. Maybe he won't need that. Maybe his stats will be so good they'll give it to him anyways, but it's just the schedule for Ohio State. Once you get past the Oregon game, it really lightens up. Same thing with Clemson. Clemson's schedule is a joke. It is a complete joke. Alabama's non-conference schedule this year is a joke. Again, they're trying to pump up Miami. Guys, Miami is not a top 15 team. The only reason they're a top 15 team is to pump up that week 1 game against Alabama. Alabama is favored in that game by over 2 touchdowns. They're favored by 18 points. Why is that a big game? You cannot have one team favored by 18.5 points and say it's a big game. I'm sorry, it's just not. You can't hype it up. You can put Miami at 14th in the AP poll. You can do all this stuff. It's not a big game. Alabama's going to win 47-24 or something like that. I'm sorry, it's just the reality of the situation, guys. That is going to do it for your weekly dose of college football. This is the 4th rendition. We are getting there, guys. Week 0 is coming up soon. I hear all these people bad-mouthing Week 0. I'm actually really pumped up for that Nebraska-Illinois matchup. I saw something about Nebraska being under investigation. That's unfortunate. I really do like Nebraska. I really want them to turn it around for the Big Ten seg. We'll have to see what happens there. But that Week 0 matchup, people, Week 0 has no matchups. I like that Indiana or that Illinois-Nebraska matchup. Week 0 coming up in a week and a half, guys. Get ready. It's happening. And then the Thursday night Ohio State-Minnesota game. I love it. I love it. But, guys, that is going to do it for the 4th rendition of your weekly dose of college football. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description, guys. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.